Hey guys, it's Grant here. I'm just doing a quick review of Linux, the latest version I've installed. I just was so impressed. I wanted to show everybody what it could do and how it could be your replacement for Windows XP, especially. Uh, I do have a cold, so mind the sniffles and a little bit weird nasal talking. But besides that, I wanted to show you a bunch of stuff. So basically, right now I'm running Xubuntu, which is the XFCE version of Ubuntu, which is like pretty well the main Linux distribution these days, or the most popular anyway. And so here's my main desktop, and I have all the stuff that I regularly use in Windows working and installed on Linux, and it's awesome. I was really impressed. It's really light, works very fluidly. They've really come a long way with drivers and the install process, and just everything seems to work a lot better. I do I do have a couple of little issues, but for the general, most people will find everything works pretty good. Um, I don't have really much of a big technical background. I do like messing around with stuff, and I fix computers, that kind of stuff. But all the stuff that it's done here, that I've done, is anybody can do by following simple instructions and a lot of copy paste and that kind of stuff. So anyways, let's get started. So this is Ubuntu 13.10 with the default desktop, and when I installed it, it was really quick. It was easy. Everything installed right off the bat except for my video drivers, but the video obviously still worked great. It was just a basic driver, like stuff like my Wi-Fi adapter, Bluetooth, audio, all that kind of stuff all works straight out of the install. Like there was no extra drivers to put in, no extra stuff. I mean, it was really quite something. It worked very well right out of the box for almost everything I had to do. Like I said, the only thing I had to do was, or didn't have to, but I did, was put in some proprietary drivers for my video card, which just sort of gave it a little bit more performance for stuff like Netflix and things like that. But I mean, right now, I mean, I'm running at 43% CPU, about 40, between 40 and 50, with everything running that I normally use. Skype, TeamViewer, BitTorrent, things like this. It's also doing video and audio recording, so that's why it's showing a little high right now. Normally it would be sitting at like probably 10%, something like that. But anyways, let's move along here. So just one of the first thing that everybody does is use a web browser. So Xubuntu comes pre-installed with Firefox. I mean, I've synced mine with my other desktops and phone and everything, so I have all my add-ons and stuff like that. I mean, I use start page for my search engine on Firefox instead of Google. I mean, start page is based off of Google, but just I mean, I just like it because it's anonymous and it doesn't track all your searches and stuff like that. No big deal. You can just use Google. I mean, it's perfectly fine. Just a personal preference. But as you can see, like everything works really well in the default Firefox. So I mean, like the browsing, everything works. I got Shockwave Flash, so you can watch Flash videos on some different sites. I have the Silverlight plugin, which is required for using Netflix through your browser. And basically, I mean, that's a bit, a few add-ons that I use personally, and a user agent switcher, which is just basically something that tricks the website into thinking you're a different browser, and that's needed for Netflix, but I'll get into that later. Yeah, so I mean, I also put on Chromium, which is like the open source version of Chrome, Google Chrome, and it works really well on Xubuntu and Linux in general. It works really well. But but basically we'll just keep on moving on here. And you notice that I'm not a professional video demo person, so you're gonna hear a lot of ahs and ums and that kind of thing. So we'll just keep on, just hang in there with me. So one of the most common things is a word processor, you know, for typing letters, resumes, and things like that. And I don't use a whole bunch of Microsoft Office. I don't use spreadsheets. All I need is just a nice, simple, basic word processor, which this is perfectly fine. It has all the little, you know, little add-ons, and you can do borders and margins and whatever else, and it works perfectly fine for me. It usually opens up most documents, and I haven't had any problems with it. I mean, like I say, I rarely use it, so I mean, but a lot of people do use a word processor, so that's pretty important for a lot of people. I do use for messaging. I know a lot of you guys don't use like MSN or Yahoo anymore. I personally use what's called Trillion, because I like to keep some of my older contacts available through MSN and Yahoo. I mean, most people just use Facebook now, which, I mean, it's the way things are, but I prefer to use Trillion, which it also does Facebook and everything in a separate thing, so I don't have to have the web browser open or whatever. It's just in a separate window, but that's just my personal preference. As far as you know, CD burning, that kind of stuff, it comes built in. Like, most of the stuff's built into the thing. I mean, this is the burning program, and basically you can do you know, MP3 discs, data discs, DVDs, whatever you want, right from the one interface. I mean, a lot of the times when you use something from Windows, you have to add this to it, you have to add that to it, or find a new program or whatever. But this came with built in with Xubuntu, and it works just great. I mean, I burned a bunch of ISOs and a couple of data DVDs, and it works just fine. Really simple, straightforward. You know, it has you know, you just pull in your files, whatever you want to do, and burn away. And it works really well, really simple and straightforward, which I like. For playing video, I mean, this I put in myself, which is VLC. I mean, obviously, I mean, most people know what VLC is on Windows desktop, is because VLC sort of is the one that plays every kind of file. You don't have to, you know, with Windows Media Player, you have to have this codec and that codec. Well, with VLC, it's open source, and it basically plays almost everything right off the bat. So, I mean, I mean, here's an episode of BS from Penn and Teller. Anyways, so it's I guess I shouldn't have used that exact video, but whatever. We're all adults here. But basically, VLC works for all that kind of stuff. It does audio as well, but I prefer a different audio player, which is the one that comes with It's called G Music Browser. It comes built in. I didn't have to put it in separate, and basically, I mean, it basically does everything you want to do, right? So I mean, as far as music goes, I mean, this is, you just pull it in. I mean, this is obviously using a wrong picture, but let me see if I can get it to change. ZT Top. I have no idea why it's using this. For some reason, it's using one of my pictures. But anyways, you get the hang of it. Usually it has it'll have like a little a preview of the album cover right here. It does the lyrics right out of the box. Like, this is all stuff, like a lot of the players you can get on the internet, they you have to put in little plugins and that kind of stuff. This one also does like a biography built in, and it's got you know, upcoming concerts, which I think is really cool. You know, you can see if it's coming up near you, that kind of thing. You got similar, so it'll give you some different options, and basically you right click and then you can pick where you want to, you know, look at it from. Like Last FM is one of my more common used ones for checking out different music. Basically, yeah, I mean that the music player does everything. It does everything that you need. Nice, quick, easy, basic. You know, there's not much else I can say about it. There's no config. Basically, it just works straight out of the box. It plays all my music and shows me, you know, interesting aside details about the band and the album and the song and the lyrics and stuff like that. So anyways, moving along here, one of the things I wanted to do show is what's called XBMC. It is like Windows Media Center. I don't know, a lot of people haven't really messed around with that too much, but myself, it's basically it's like VLC, but it's got, you know, you can put add-ons and things in it, so that it's meant for basically a home entertainment system, you know, like on your main screen TV in your living room or whatever. I use it on my 32-inch LCD, and I added a few things to it. I mean, for an add-on, I went to I put Canada On Demand, which is a custom add-on plugin that will, you know, that I can watch all my news and stuff like that in the morning. I like all my news in the morning and nothing at night type thing. But for example, if I put on Global National, you get to pick which one, maybe individual stories out of it. I usually just play the main, you know, show. So I mean, it looks great. It's easy to use, and another thing is there's no commercials on this particular version. What it does is when there's a commercial, it just goes to like a little fancy screen, and it just sits there with a little tune or whatever until basically the same amount of time as commercials are on. So it's a little bit, I mean, but nice thing is you can skip ahead in it and that kind of stuff. But I mean, even for my local, I mean, I'm in Kelowna, BC here, and one of the ones we used to watch is CHBC news, but it's now Global Okanagan. But this also has it built into this little add-on, so you don't have to go to the website, find the thing, you know, find the site, that kind of stuff. So I mean, everything's right there for you to just play around with. I mean, I use this, like I say, a lot for news. But I mean, they got all the kind of like for example, here's the Discovery Channel stuff. I mean, it has different clips of different parts. I mean, the Discovery ones is a little bit different because you don't get to do like a whole program. You have to do clip by clip, but which is no big deal to me, you know. So but anyways, that's a little bit of a look at XBMC for Linux. I mean, you use it on Windows as well, and it works really well. But for as far as that, I mean, I also have like Greenpeace videos, Russia Today news. These are just simple plugins that are available through their website, XBMC, and it works fine. It works great. I mean, I can even do YouTube on here, but normally I just do YouTube on my tablet or, you know, or through my phone or whatever, but or my browser. But I mean, this works great. I mean, it comes in. You set what kind of resolution you want it to be in, and most of my stuff I like to be 720 because that's what my TV is. But I mean, besides that, I mean, it's got all kinds of add-ons and different video stations and websites and all that stuff. But anyways, so I just wanted to sort of quickly go over some of that, which, I mean, it's kind of neat because, I mean, it makes everything really easy to do. You don't have to go surfing through the web. It also does, I mean, pictures and music and stuff. But, I mean, the music one's nice, you know, for just having on your big screen in your living room. I don't use it personally. I just use the video add-ons just to watch my news and stuff. But that's basically how I use XBMC, and that's really a bonus feature. That this didn't come with Xubuntu. I had to install it separately, which it was really simple. So one of the things I use for transferring files in between my different systems, because I have Windows systems, my phone, laptop, desktop, that kind of stuff. So between them, I use what's called BT Sync, which is basically BitTorrent Sync. It's basically put out from the BitTorrent company. Basically what it does is it transfers files in between computers. It does not. It doesn't store anything in the cloud. So there's nothing. So it's not like Google Drive or OneDrive or SkyDrive, whatever Microsoft calls theirs. It only transfers between your systems. So your system has to be on. So if I want to have a file on my laptop and my phone and my desktop has to be on when one of the other two are on, or vice versa. I mean, two systems have to be on for the file to get to one to the other. It uses encryption over the internet, so it's nice and secure. Nobody sees your stuff. It works really fast. Very little configuration. I personally love it. For as far as what do you call it? Skype. I know a lot of people use Skype for video chat and stuff. I mean, I went ahead and I installed Skype for Ubuntu, or well, it's through Ubuntu, but it's basically Xubuntu. This is what I have it installed on. But basically, I can call any number. So if let me see if I can call. What's their test call? Let's see here. Oh. Like I say, I'm doing this all by the seat of my pants here.
Hello, welcome to Skype call testing service.
So it seems to work really well.
Please record
and I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, you got to remember, Xubuntu is a free and open system, open operating system. So it's not like Windows where you have to pay $100 or $300 or whatever it is. This is free for anybody that you can just install on your system. So basically, Skype works really well. I know that I don't personally use Skype a whole lot, but I know that a lot of people do use Skype. So I just wanted to quickly show that. As far as I mean, one of the big things is people have to have their Netflix. Now, it used to be like last year or whatever, Netflix was a little bit of a pain to get working on your system. Now they have a new thing, a new program called Pipelight. Basically, it installs a little thing that it's called Wine, and it emulates Windows, but it works through the browser, so it makes it really simple and straightforward. I mean, it was really easy to set up, really easy to install, really easy to get working. So I mean, for example, if I go to Netflix, normally this wouldn't work on Linux. I mean, or it was a pain, but now it's really straightforward. As you can see, everything seems to work really good. For example, here we'll just watch a little Chuck. Oh, the one with Bo Derek. Anyways, so as you can see, Netflix works perfectly fine. It's nice and fluid, works full screen, no problem. I mean, I use it extensively. Obviously, I'm a binge watcher. But yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys Netflix works perfectly on Xubuntu, and you know, I haven't had any problems with it. I mean, in the past there was a few issues, but you know, I mean, a lot of times things just take time to get developed to work properly and stuff like that. Netflix, it never used to work very well on Linux because of DRM, digital rights management. So that basically you can't like record it and then upload it to the internet for everybody, whatever, right? But anyway, that's enough of that. Netflix works really good, no problems whatsoever. So, I mean, a lot of these things just take a little bit of time to read up on and you can get going. But so let's see, for downloading torrents, I know that there's a lot of torrent addicts out there who use torrents quite extensively. Most people use uTorrent. I use what's called BitTorrent. Basically, it's an open source, community sort of driven alternative to uTorrent. It's basically to everyday person, it's the same thing. I just prefer to use this version. What I do is I set it up so that I can use it on my phone. So, for example, if I'm like surfing the net on the bus or what have you, I can remotely add torrents. So if I go, I'm just want to quickly show you an example here. I'm just going on my phone. I'll look up Xubuntu. And then I'll just give me 2 secs here. I'm trying not to pause the video too much, just because I want to show that everything seems to work, you know, and so I'm not like pausing, doing a whole bunch of configuring and checking and testing and all this kind of stuff, so that you can just kind of see that it all works straight off. So I've gone to Xubuntu, and I've hit the uTorrent here, and for some reason my phone app has reset itself, so it's not working. So I would definitely have to configure this on my phone, which is no big deal. It's just a matter of putting in a password and an IP and stuff like that. I mean, it took me just a few minutes to get it to work. I don't know why it erased my data on the phone, but besides that, BitTorrent works perfectly good. Besides, like the little snafu I had just there. I mean, obviously things don't work always perfectly when you're using advanced sort of stuff, but that is BitTorrent. And let me, like, for example, I mean, I've spent enough time on this. I mean, everybody knows how to click on a torrent and download it, right? I mean, most people anyway. For as far as remote viewing goes, I found it was quite neat because because a lot of times, you know, you're on your laptop in the living room and your system's got a file on it, or you just want to log into your system to shut it down, or that kind of stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of uses for it, but I thought it was kind of important to show that you could get into your Windows system just as easily as if you were using it. So I'm just going to load it up on my laptop here just for the heck of it, and see what we can come up with as far as showing what it looks like. So just give me 2 secs here. Like I say, I mean, sometimes you might get a little bored with the video, and I understand, but like I say, I'm just trying to make it so that everything is like shown, so you can see like the kind of stuff that I run into where it's a problem, you know, that kind of thing. So let's just see here. If I can remember which password I used. No, I left it as a pin. So anyways, here's my laptop, my Windows. It's running Windows 7. It's got you know, I can do everything that I would normally do on my system, and it works really well. It's really fast, fluid. It's really neat to be able to show, or to be able to go on a different desktop and check your system, change things, or get things loaded up. You know, I mean, there's not much else to say about it. The only thing I did notice is you don't really want to be doing videos through your, you know, if you're on your laptop and you want to stream a video from your PC or your desktop or whatever. It's kind of like you don't really want to do it through this necessarily. I mean, yeah, some tweaking or whatever, you can get it to work fine, but in general, this is just for manipulating stuff on your different systems. So you don't have to run into the other room and do something. You can just quickly do it right on the thing, right on your whatever device you're using. I can do it right on my tablet, my phone, you know, what have you. So there's just a quick little example of the remote desktop app TeamViewer, and it works really well. I mean, it's been around for a long time. It's free for personal use, so I mean, no worries there. You know, besides that, I mean, I could go on and on and on here, but I'm trying to keep this nice and short. So, but yeah, basically that's the whole system. It works really well. I mean, besides, like, I mean, what was the remote torrent adding on the BitTorrent? I mean, I don't think a lot of people that are watching this video are going to do that. So, I mean, it's no big deal that it didn't have it set up just perfect yet. But in general, that's my system. That's what works. That it's all really straightforward. Lots of, you know, copy paste to get some things to install. Most of it is just going to the software center. This is a system built in Ubuntu, Xubuntu, Kubuntu. I mean, all these ones. But yeah, it's Ubuntu Software Center is. I don't think there's anything like it in Windows. Maybe Windows Store, possibly. Yeah, Windows Store under Windows 8. But I mean, for, you know, and then you just pick something like let's see here, Stellarium. Let's take a look at that. So it just tells you about it. It tells you some features, shows you some screenshots, and a lot of times there's like comments to tell you, oh, it doesn't work, it does work, or it doesn't work on this version, works on that version. I mean, so yeah, I mean, this is kind of handy. You can find most of the stuff in here. I mean, some things like Skype weren't in here. You know, so yeah, I mean, teach their own, but it is kind of a nice little graphical, you know, software installer that you can browse around and find different stuff. So yeah, basically that's really all the stuff I wanted to show you. There's all kinds of different stuff, but I just wanted to show you the basic, you know, general features that anybody that is using Windows would want to use in Xubuntu. But I appreciate you hanging in there, and sorry about the sniffling and, you know, the little pauses and everything else. But in general, I hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching. And I'm going to try to do a bunch of you know, other videos, well, a couple of other videos, getting a little bit more involved in some of these programs like XBMC and stuff like that. Yeah, so there you go. Have a great day, you guys. Okay, see you later.